Hi there folks, welcome back to the IB and Andy Fishing channel. I hope you are doing really well. I really hope, particularly you guys in the UK, that at some point recently you've managed to get out fishing. Because if you've been anything like me, you've been absolutely itching to get out for the last month. It has been a horrific end of October, right the way through almost the whole of November. We're in the third week of November now, and it's rained almost every day where we live for 4 weeks. It's completely killed the river fishing. It's completely whacked my guiding. I literally haven't done a day's work now in nearly a month. It's been an absolute killer. But finally, after a month of almost constant rain, we've just had kind of 48 hours here where it's not been as bad, and I've been able to get myself out into one of my favourite local small streams to do some grayling fishing. Now, before we get on to the fishing, I just want to say a quick thank you very much to those of you who have been and visited the web shop and bought anything in the last month, because basically that web shop has been my only source of income. As I say, it's been a really rough month. So thank you very much to those of you who've been on the web shop. If you're looking at the hats, if you're looking at the wraps, any of the fly packs and stuff like that, it's all there. Most of it is in stock at the moment. I've been a pretty busy boy, so please do go and check that out, particularly the Euro Nymphing in a box kit, which has had a real upgrade. It's taken quite a while to do it, but I've actually resourced new French leaders for the Euro Nymphing in a box kit. I wanted something that was a little bit longer, so the old 9-metre French leader has gone, replaced with a 15-metre leader. What that means is that the front end is much finer. We've managed to get this down to 0.2 mil, working with a supplier in Eastern Europe. So really fine, delicate French leader, sort of a hybrid between a French leader and a mono rig. It's what I'll be using today. It's what I've used for the last couple of vlogs. I just haven't mentioned it just yet until we got them in stock, but that is all ready to go. Right, so on to the fishing. As I say, one of my little local small streams. The bigger rivers are still no good. They're still too high. So little small stream that's cleared out quite nicely. Just bought one rod with me. I'm here Euro Nymphing with a 10-foot 2-weight. Very small selection of flies. Bit of tippet, bit of indicator wax, and that's pretty much me ready to go. I'm expecting to hit a few trees, I'm expecting to hit a few snags. This place is a bit of a fly graveyard, but in amongst all those trees and snags there are some really good grayling in here. So I'm hoping in the next 2.5 hours I should be able to find a few. It's just coming up to 11:30 now. I'm a bit late because funnily enough this morning for half an hour, even though it wasn't forecast, it bloody rained again. But I want to jump in, we'll crack on, let's see if we can find ourselves our first grayling in nearly a month. Okay, so first pool of the day. It's a lovely sort of waist deep walking pace, fine gravel. It's got all the stuff. One thing it also is pretty tight, so I'm gonna have to be careful with the rod. It's going to be all bow and arrow cast, so lots of patience required. But it's got both a nice feed line going down the outside of it and a lovely slack up the inside, and that's where I'm going to go first with what at the moment is just a single fly rig. I've got one of my baby pinks on there, just fishing it as a single fly to start with. The water is clearer than I expected. It's good. It's not crystal clear, which I like. I don't want it to be absolutely gin clear, but it's clearer than I thought it would be. Just going to slowly work my way up here, just picking this off bit by bit. Confidence. Pool I've caught fish out of in the past, I'm confident I'm going to find one in here. Problem with this one is making sure I just don't spook them before I get to them. It's all pretty close quarters here. The key to this style of fishing is just patience, being really methodical, not stepping outside of your rhythm. I'm going to get that fly back in my hand every single time. Not going to be tempted to cast this conventionally just yet. Taking my time, don't want to hit the trees, don't want to hit the bank. Just nice, easy going, methodical fishing, and eventually we find one. There we go. That's not taken long. That's a fish after no more than a couple of minutes, and actually it's a pretty good one. Will you go in the net? Yes, you will. That's taken literally a couple of minutes, and that is a really nice grayling in the net on that baby pink. Come on, buddy. God, I tell you what, if you offer me a few hours of those, I'll snap your hand off for it. Nice start, couple of minutes. That's what it's about. Just slowly, not taking off too much in terms of the casts. Just sensible distances to sensible areas. Trust that the fish are going to be there. Trust that you're going to catch them. I reckon there's more than one in this. There's also one snag. Okay, so I've got the fly back, but it could well be at the cost of the rest of the pool. I hate leaving flies behind in the water, so rather than just snapping that off, gone and sort of kicked it off, but it took a wee while. It's brought me a bit further up the pool than I wanted to be this early. Be interesting to see, is that going to completely ruin this pool? I can see the snag now. I'm stood here. I was never not going to catch that. It looks like a piece of grass or something that's fallen off in the erosion during the floods. It's brought me way further up the pool than I'd like to be. Not in a place where I don't think there's going to be fish, but it's brought me up that quickly that I could have spooked a number of the fish that might have been in here. Okay, so yeah, I made a bit of a mess of that. I mean, the right thing to do there in terms of catching all the fish out of that pool would have been to break that fly off, but I don't really like leaving flies and line and stuff in rivers, even if it's single fly like this. I'd always rather get them out if I can. There are so many, oh, there's a fish. There are so many places, I was just about to say, there's so many places I could fish in here and catch a fish from that I don't feel like I need to be too precious about individual spots. And sure enough, first cast in the next spot about 20 yards up, and here is a fish. Little grey dog. He's got his head down a bit there. Come on, buddy. There we go. Where are you? Baby pink just fell out. Not the size of the last one, but hey, we're ticking over nicely. Okie doke. We'll try that one again. See if he's got a buddy over there. Get some contact, keep that moving. Nothing that time. There's trees everywhere here. This is a particularly tight spot. Even if I wasn't using the 10-footer, this still would be awkward with whatever rod I had. That up and under there, that's nice. Get that indicator up, get everything moving. Again, just like the first pool, I'm just going to slowly work my way up here towards that little footbridge at the top. That's a nice area. Oh, that's over a tree. God, it's so difficult. You gotta watch absolutely everything just over the branch of this tree in front of me. Okay, does that mean then that the little layup cast, the drop it behind me, and no, that doesn't work here either. Oh dear me, this one is tight. Okay, well, that gets me in a different spot to where I was before at least. Well, no second take, and that's 2 single fish in a row. Now obviously the first single fish I thought was perhaps my fault for making a mess of the snag, but the second single fish in a row just makes me wonder if these fish are actually sat in shoals at the moment, or maybe they are just still fairly spread out. It's been relatively mild for the last month because it's not stopped raining. Are they just still a bit more spread out? Right, I am running out of space to do anything with here. I can't make a bow and arrow because I can't lift the rod up. I can barely make my little flip because of this branch on the far side. That's about as good as I can do. I reckon it's time for a nudge up to that bridge, see what we can find there. Ready, so I'm above the bridge now. I've actually come a fair distance above it, just so it gives me a better angle to fish the whole pool from. Down by the bridge was a bit tight, whereas from here I can fish both below me and above me fairly well. Really promising looking pool. Still stuck with the single fly for the moment. I'm not against that. Clarity of the water. Is that fish? That's another snag. Clarity of the water, and it's not that deep in most places. I've got another dropper ready to go actually attached to my pack, so I can just whip a point fly on there, about 15 inches of 6x. But for the time being, I'd rather go for the slightly more stealthy approach with the single fly. That's a fish. There we go. Not a lot of space to play him in. That was right on the deck. I got that as low down as I possibly could. This fish has really got its head down. If this is a grayling, it could be a good one. This place has got a history for bigger grayling. Difficult position to play it. I'm doing about the only thing I can do here to keep the rod bent. I can't really go downstream of me because there's a big leaning tree. If this is a grayling, this could be a really nice fish, this. Doesn't want to leave the pool. Oh, it is a grayling as well. It is a grayling. It is a good one. desperate not to lift the rod too early here. If I lift the rod, there's a chance of that fly just pinging straight into a tree above me. But he's just about getting there now. Sounds a bit weird me stripping line off, but the distance I'd wound in then was actually too short for me to be able to land this fish. Oh, it's a lovely grayling. Lovely grayling. That might be my biggest one from here as well. That is an absolute beauty. Small stream grayling fishing. If this isn't the sort of fish we came for, I don't know what is, and I've just dropped him in the river without doing any B-roll. So that is all you're getting to see of that fish. You can tell it's been a while since I filmed anything because that was a rookie error. Hopefully there's another one down there. Yeah, lovely fish. Really happy with that one. That's exactly the sort of fish I was hoping to find at the bottom of a pool like this. Took a little bit of digging out. It was a long way down. Just hope he's got a mate in there because I've got absolutely no good shots of that fish. Yeah, we'll stick around here a bit longer. There might even be case here for that second fly I was talking about, just to make sure things are down well enough. It's ever such a subtle take. To be honest, I sort of thought it had just gouged the bottom. Just flickered slightly, that indicator. That was all I got really. Be interesting to see if I do get a second fish out of here, if they are just all singled up at the moment. That's a fish. There we go. Not quite the size of the last one, but it is a second fish in a pool for the first time today. These little ones really getting the head down. That was down that inside line again, so maybe there's something in that. Belting start this. I've been here 15 minutes. 4th fish in the net. Ooh, that was dangerous. 4th fish hooked. Come on, don't you dare throw that hook right now. Ah, there we go. Another stamper fish. Not one of the big ones, but might just have given us a little bit of a clue as where we need to look. Right, so it's not a particularly easy cast to get it there, but that is 2 things happened on that inside line, and basically the 2 casts I got in there. Need to get this somewhere down. That's better. Somewhere down the inside. Oh, even that's missed slightly. There's peril everywhere. There's never any easy casts on this place. As you've seen, if you can get the cast in the right place, you get takes, and there are some really good ones in here. No take that time. Nah, okay, so I think a couple more chucks here, and I'm going to just cinch round the corner slightly. Feel like I probably A, fish this as long as I want to, and B, that the fight from that bigger fish was relatively long and all took place basically slap in the middle of the pool. So it could have just shaken this pool up a little bit. So perhaps I've just had my fishing out of this one. I can move around slightly and perhaps fish the drop off of this pool, because I know this falls really quickly. It's probably an opportunity for me to put the second fly on, because we need to get down fast. Let's do that. Yep, so I've made that change. I've now got 2 flies on. I've got deep purple on the point, and then that baby pink has just become the top dropper. This drops off really quickly here, like really plummets. I just want to make sure that those flies are on the deck, on the drop off. I don't think it's going to be a problem getting them down in the pool, but I want to make sure they're down here just as it falls. There's actually a little hatch as well. There's an olive that I haven't identified yet, just a trickle of a hatch. That's nice to see. This time of year, a few bugs coming off, it'll get the fish going as well. Oh, there's a fish. Crikey, speaking of fish, there is one. It's another nice grayling as well. I can already see tumbling around. I've wound way too much, and how the hell am I going to land this fish? I think it's going to have to be above me here, because there is nothing but trees over my head. Unfortunately, that does mean dragging this fish right the way through the pool that I'm trying to catch him out of. Get him to there. Oh, he's turned. Come on, bud. He's taking that baby pink again, but he is in the nets. Nice, nice, nice. That was a good change. Just as a rig that's slightly heavier, just to make sure that I'm down in the parts of the pool that I think the fish are going to be sat in. Yeah, another nice sized fish that. Happy with those all day. Lovely grayling. Good change. One of the things that always surprises people, it's something that always comes up on guided days, is just how close to these fish you can actually get. Now I am fishing at about 10 feet here. Certainly no further than that. There's another one. Oh, it looks a good fish as well, that. Yeah, another nice grayling. Geez, yeah. This fly change has just got me down a bit further, and all of a sudden the fish are coming. I've got to do the same thing again there. I was just about to say, it always amazes people how close you can get. And these grayling are all within 10 feet of me. They're not scared of me. They're in some cover down there. Bit of water over their heads. They feel safe. That means I can just keep trying to pick them off. He's taking the baby pink again. Yes, now we're rocking. Now we're rocking. That one's a she this time. Smaller dorsal fin. Another nice handful of grayling. Good stamp of fish today. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do too much differently for the moment. I'll just keep flipping that up there. Fishing it nice and deep on the drop off. And then the bite area seems to be just past me about there. Ooh, I think that was a take. Find that indicator, get some contact, keep the rod moving. Just felt that clang the bottom once, so I know I'm there or thereabouts with the bottom. No take that time, I feel a bit offended. Uh-oh. Just snatched at a cast there. It's the first time I've done it all day. Just snatched at a cast that wasn't ready, and I've hit the far bank. Okay, I guess that's this pool done then. I'll go and get that and we'll move on. Nice start to the day. Okay then, so a deeper pool there has provided me with more fish. On that basis, coming and fishing this piece of water directly above it probably seems a bit silly, but that's worth a quick look just for 5 minutes. Gone back down to a single fly, and we'll just put the baby pink through this lovely gravelly run, see if there's a fish above me. As much as anything, it gives me a chance just to extend my casting arm a little bit and actually make some proper casts. We'll see what happens in it. It's not going to take long to go through this whole thing. There could be a bonus fish in this for me though. Well, I've fished this as far up as I want to. I've not had a tap. I'm not surprised I haven't had a tap. That does now give me a bit of an idea of what I need to be looking for going forwards for the next hour or so. Let's have a move. Okay, so that shallow stuff didn't work, and I'm not 100% convinced it's going to work, so I've moved up to somewhere a bit more pooly, a bit slower, a bit more like the sort of stuff we've caught the other fish from. Again, going to do my best here just to take my time. Still trees around me, there's still loads of danger. What was that just taken off? This bird just took off out the river upstream of me. I'm just hoping it wasn't a cormorant. Rivers like this are usually a bit too small for those guys. Not changed the fly. That baby pink has caught every single fish so far, so I'd be reluctant to take that off just for the moment. Just fishing one fly for the time being. That looked like a take. Fishing one fly for the time being because it's a bit less fussy, he says, as he hits the bank behind. Today there was supposed to be basically no wind. There is a serious wind now coming over my shoulders and across the river. Fishing at short range, so it shouldn't have too much of an impact. Oh, how have I managed that? Okay, so I managed to get out of the tree in the end. It's one of those things when you're fishing these sort of streams, you have to accept this. It's never not going to happen. You're always going to be hitting trees and rattling stuff, and what I've learned over the years doing is actually try not to let it get to you too much, because if you get really frustrated with this style of fishing and the grip tightens and things start happening more quickly, it only gets worse. You sort of have to just accept it and actually sometimes use it. I mean, what that did give me a chance to is realise just how much more water there is over there than I remembered. It's much, much deeper than I thought it was over there. And while I'm probably not going to catch any fish from that area again because I just walked over it, it does give me a chance to just reassess what I was doing. And off the back of that, I've actually put the second fly back on, that deep purple, because it is deep. There's plenty of water over there, and I probably wasn't getting down fast enough to those fish before, so there's always a bit of good that can come from whacking a tree. You just have to sort of give it a chance to figure itself out. Okay, so I've made my way around the corner. Got a little bit more space to work with here, so I'm going to take advantage of that. And we'll go down this lovely long straight. Yep, there. Oh, I thought that was a fish. It even rattled like a fish. So many snags and stuff left behind after these floods. I have still got 2 flies on, and maybe that's not a good idea because it has shallowed up again here. Thought I was going to be able to just sort of control it over these snags, but I might have got that wrong. Give it a couple more casts. Oh, that's a fish. I was just lifting the rod up to sort my hands out because I got myself in a bit of a mess on the previous cast, and lifted the rod up, and there's a grayling attached to me. Good. Okay, well, I've had some pretty rotten luck at times finding the snags, and we'll take some good luck when it appears. Again, it's a nice fish. This is where that 2-weight comes in handy. I don't really want this thing getting too far away from me. 2-weight just cushions those lunges. Oh, it is a nice fish as well. Yeah, okay. We'll take an accidental grayling. Thank you very much. Yeah, nice fish. Come on, buddy. Just settle down for a second. Just want a quick look, and then we'll send you on your way. Oh, he is wiry. He is not going to behave. I know. There we go. Nice fish. Nice. Okay, a couple more fluky ones would do. So that fish was basically on the snag that I got stuck on before. I wonder if there's any more in his area. There's a fish. There we go. There we go. Right. So we had a really good first half an hour. Then we had a pretty quiet second half an hour. But we're back on him now. Nicely back on him. Not quite as big as the previous fish, but putting a fair old bend in that 2-weight. Come on. Again on the baby pink. That thing's not coming off. Definitely not. Oh, not my best netting job, but he is in the net. There's the fly. Flies out. Nice. Here we go. Okay, yeah, it looks like we've got a few in front of us. Keep some contact with those flies. Oh yes, they are in front of me. Is that 3 and 3 casts? It must be close. God, he's gone flying off downstream. That was interesting. There was a big flash behind it as well. There are some quite big trout in this place. There's a big flash behind my fish then. Thought for a second maybe something to grab one of the other flies, but no. It's taking the point fly as well. It's the first one on that point fly, and it is a nice fish. Bit too much line in, so we'll just pull a bit more out. That's how short I'm fishing. Yeah, it's a nice one. Be nice to get you in the net. Let's come down here. Yeah, nice grayling. Sweet. Okay, so this guy's absolutely terrorised me in the net. There we go. Not a monster, not quite as big as the one that backflipped earlier. But I will take him from the small streams, that's for sure. A couple more steps up here, and I'll try and stay as far back as I can because there's clearly a few in front of me. One piece of rigging, a bit of a change that I need to tell you about. So I found a little tippet knot on the point fly dropper after I released that fish. So I've been a bit lazy. I've actually gone back to single fly. I've just taken the whole point fly dropper off. We've just got that baby pink on at the moment. A little bit lazy. If it doesn't work, then we can soon stick a new point fly dropper on, but for the time being I'm just going to go one fly. That's half a dozen drifts without a take. Now ordinarily that wouldn't be a problem, but I basically just caught 3 fish and 3 casts out of here, so maybe that second fly was important. We'll have another half dozen flicks just with a single fly on, and if it doesn't work we may well be putting that point fly back on here. Righty, back to the 2 fly rig. Be interesting to see how much of a difference this makes and how quickly it makes a difference. That's a bit further across towards that feed line. Is there one over there for me? Yes there is. Yes there is. That looked really big when it turned then. Difficult to tell when they're deep down. That looked like a decent fish. First one that's taken any line, that's for sure. Pretty sure it was a grayling. Oh, he's going that way. He wants to go that way, and there's not a lot we can do to stop it on 7X. Still not properly seen it yet, and he's taking a little bit of line. Got his head down there. It is a grayling. It's a nice one. Good stamp of fish out of this place. Oh no, it's a trout. Oh, dang it, really pale trout. I thought that was a big grayling for a second then. Well, we've done pretty well so far. It's probably one trout to 9, 10 grayling. We'll take those odds. That's a beautiful fish. It's just not the fish we're after. We'll try that one again. Could have had an effect on the pool. He went pretty nuts all over it, so wouldn't surprise me if things went a little bit quiet here. We'll try a few over on each side, one on the far side, a couple on the near side, because there is a little scour actually down my bank that looks interesting. No, okay, I reckon that trout has knackered this pool, but no complaints. Caught a few nice ones out of there. Maybe time to get my skates on. Have a look at somewhere a little bit different. Okay, so I've been here for about an hour and a half now, fished for just about an hour. I think I'm doing all right. Don't get me wrong, I'm a little bit rusty. It's been A, a long time since I fished, and B, a particularly long time since I've done any small stream nymphing. So hitting a few trees, hitting a few snags, but also hitting a few fish as well, which has been pretty cool. Feel like I've got a bit more of a handle on what the fish want and where they are than I had at the start of the day. It looks to me like they want those really steep gravelly drop-offs, particularly if they've got weed above them. Obviously at this time of year that weed is an absolute haven for bugs, inverts and stuff like that. And it looks to me like the grayling want to sit in depth, but they want to sit in depth around that weed. So if I can find areas where you've got a nice weedy area that drops off into a fairly deep pool, that seems to be the spot. And I know there's a few more of those left on this beat yet. Been a little bit lazy with flies. I could perhaps have changed a little bit more often, but it keeps working, so I keep throwing it. I haven't gone a particularly long time at any point without getting a take. I haven't gone a particularly long time at any point without hitting a tree or hitting the bottom, but that is par for the course when you're fishing these waters. I'm going to do another hour's fishing, I think. It's actually gone a little bit dark. It wasn't forecast to rain today, but it definitely looks like it's going to. It also wasn't forecast to be windy, and it was supposed to be much warmer than it has been today. In truth, I've not had the conditions I expected, so that makes me particularly happy with how we're doing so far. We'll give it another hour. I've got a feeling, I've just got this feeling I'm going to find a big fish today. So I'm going to give it another hour, see if I can winkle out one of the bigger fish from this little stream. Okay, well this is exactly, absolutely exactly the sort of weedy drop-off I was talking about. This is somewhere I am really hopeful of. It's gone really dark in the last few minutes. Even since I recorded that little bit to the camera then, it's got even darker. I reckon we might have some more rain coming here. We'll see what we can do. Pop that up there, still on the 2 flies. Lovely looking piece of water, and exactly what we've been finding the fish in up till now. I think I've just missed a take. There's a little bit of space for me to be able to make a slightly more conventional flip upstream rather than a bow and arrow. Just off the main flow line there, that's perfect. Whee. This reminds me a lot actually of the bridge pool we fished earlier in the day. Very, very similar mixture of gravel and chunk rock. Similar depth, similar speed. If they were there, why wouldn't they be here? There's a snag. Got away with it. Let's hook that one round a little bit more. So I've not got up to the drop off properly yet. This is the pool behind it. To be honest, I was sort of hoping I might catch one out of here. Sneak my way up here slightly, see if I can get a better angle on the actual drop off. Really feel like I should have had one here. And that's going straight through it at that. That is absolutely smack on. God, there ought to be grayling in there. Just think a bit further around. Do I need to go further upstream? I think for the first time today we could have a little fly change coming up. Okay, so quick change there. I've put the I put IB's red tag actually from our trout pack on because it's a bit heavy. It's a 3.8mm bead, and then a pink dub grub on the top dropper, which just gets seen in this lower light. Got a few options there on that one, but I really like that pink dub grub in low light or coloured water conditions. This isn't happening at the moment. What's going on here? It's a real change in sort of overheads in the last half an hour or so. I'm going to blame that rather than myself. It could well be that I'm doing something wrong, or perhaps it's just not the grayling in front of me that I think there should be. I'm not fishing badly. I'm doing pretty much the same things I was before. Even made a fly change, which is unlike me. I'm just not getting the takes I feel like I should be warranting. It just looks the perfect spot. It looks the absolute perfect spot off the back of what we've seen so far today. Just feel like they should be in front of me, and apparently they're just not at the moment. Righty, so I initially only really climbed in here just to clean my boots off. Some fields are still muddy, but I've ended up cleaning my boots off at that bridge pool. Let's see if we can just tease one more out of here. This will be interesting because the first hour and a bit of today, I felt like these fish were on it. And in the last half an hour or so, it's just like, since that cloud dropped in a little bit, it's like someone flicked a switch. And I've fished some really good water, really good water. And not had a bloody tap, so it'll be interesting to see. Is it me? Is it the weather conditions? Something has changed, that's for sure, because it was fishing really nicely. Now it's not. Not a tap. Not a tap. Jeez, that change in the conditions absolutely killed it. It's fascinating how this stuff happens. Couple more drifts, but I think this has told me what I wanted to know. What an odd 45 minutes that's been. We've gone from one pool where it felt like we were going to completely empty it and catch everything. We had a little bit of move to some more good water, that cloud dropped in, the temperature dropped a little bit, and all of a sudden it just doesn't feel like there are any grayling in here. It absolutely fascinates me how quickly things can change like this. And don't get me wrong, maybe if I stayed and went through the fly changes and all of that, maybe we'd winkle out a few more fish. But to be quite honest, A, I've done what I wanted to do, which was knock the rust off myself and have a little look, see if there's still grayling in the small stream. And B, get a little vlog film, because I recognise it's been quite a while again since we put anything out there. As I say, the weather's not been great. Even today, the weather has conspired against us on what has probably been the best weather day of the last month. Reasonably happy with how I've fished. I think I did alright. A few snags, a few trees, plenty of fish. I've not lost one. That's pretty cool. After last time I haven't lost a single fish, so that was pretty cool. Just at the point where I felt like I'd sort of found what they were up to and what they wanted to do, that weather switched on me and all of a sudden it looks rock hard again. Not needed to fiddle around with the flies too much. That baby pink has caught all but one of the fish all day. It's just lethal, that thing is absolutely lethal. And the deep purple has been there when we've needed to get into slightly deeper water, anchor those flies down a bit more. That deep purple's done a great job, caught fish itself. Both those flies actually are in our clear water grayling pack, which for these conditions is just the absolute one. We haven't needed to go mega bright, so you know, if you're fishing clear water, if you've got some fishing coming up and the rivers have thinned out around you guys, have a think about that clear water pack, because there's flies in there that put fish in the net. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up here because I've got a bit of a walk back to the cart, and it looks like in 20 minutes time it's going to be absolutely pitch black at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What a weird day. Oh, there's a big flight of starlings just gone past me as well. That was weird. Thank you very much for watching this vlog. I really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed it, please do give it a like, share it with some mates who you think might enjoy this style of fishing, and hopefully IB and I will see you guys again soon for some more fly fishing, some more grayling fishing, some more lure fishing and other stuff very soon. Take care, folks. Bye bye.